Hi, my name is Jorgan Taylor, and this is my oratory speech on school's impact on students' mental health. School is stressful. First and foremost, I want to get that out there. With things like bullying, mental health, and grades, the typical school day for students is a stressful, even harmful experience. We need a reform in the school system. We need to change the environment of school to make it a place that people are comfortable and safe being in, rather than the place that people dread, if not fear, going to. We need to change the priorities of our schools to reflect a more modern society. What we need is for them to realize that they are not preparing us for life, which is what school is all about in the first place. We need them to realize that grades are harmful to us and that there is more to being successful than having an A on a report card. We need a serious reforms in our schools, and we need it now. Students' mental health has been on a decline in recent years. According to the Suicide Prevention Resource Center, both anxiety and depression in teens have reached about 20% across the entire country. In only 2000, the depression rate was around 5 to 8% of teens. The teen suicide rate has also nearly doubled in 10 years. In 2020, the number rose to 22 out of every 100,000 teens. In just 2010, that number was roughly 13 out of every 100,000 teens. The fact that the numbers have doubled is insane, and we need to do something to combat this. Schools have tried to do things about this, like including things like hotlines, health and wellness rooms, and things like rallies and events. Despite them doing this, however, the suicide rates in teens have continued to rise. What are the reasons? One is school itself. Schools across the country have shown their priorities are grades and Common Core education, and that is more important than the mental health and stability of their students. In school, we are expected to suck it up and learn like a good student. There are several things wrong with this type of thinking. If we are not mentally sound and stable in school, how are we expected to retain the information that is given to us during school? It makes no logical sense. If our anxiety is spiking or we are struggling with depression, our mind is already taken up. We have no room for learning a cross section of the cell when our mind is full of running thoughts and emotions that we cannot control. Add in the worry of grades and maintaining a social life, and you can see why school is an issue for teens' mental health. The standards placed upon students are unrealistic, unreasonable, and arguably detrimental to them. During the third term of the 2019 to 2020 school year, before the COVID-19 shutdown, I was personally in a really dark place. Anxiety and depression wouldn't let me concentrate in my classes, and there was no way that I could hold the information that my math teacher was giving me. There was no way that I was going to finish a book report that was due at the end of the week. That was something that I could not control no matter what I did to help myself. And I know if I felt that way, I was not alone. So many students experience this in their school life, so how can we fix this? How can we make school a less harmful and more beneficial experience for students? Getting rid of the current grading system would be a great step in the right direction. Grades in their current iteration are harmful, if not useless. Grades do not show how much a student has learned, only how much information they have memorized over the course of a term. By implementing a system where grades are based on how much a student has progressed over the term from start to finish, we could help eliminate a lot of the stress that comes from the current grading system. If a student has gone from having a D average to a B average in math, as I have, that should be seen as a success, and the student would have proven that they have progressed and that they are learning. This form of grading makes so much more sense rather than what is currently implemented in the average classroom. If we implement a better system that better benefits the students, that in itself would be a huge success in relieving some of the stress that students receive from school. That is only one thing. What else can be done to help improve the mental health of students? Changing the school schedule. There's a couple things that can be done here. One has already been done in my school, which is having Wednesdays off. This has been amazing to have a day to sleep in and to do our work at our own pace. It has also been amazing for my mental health when it comes to things like social anxiety. There's only so much I can handle when it comes to crowds of people and socializing. So to have that day to recharge my social battery has been amazing. I guarantee if you were to implement this across the country and not just as a COVID-19 procedure, you would see the stress levels drop purely because students are well rested. The second thing that can be changed when it comes to schedules is by changing the time that school starts. According to UCLA Health, teens' brains are wired to go to bed at a later time, which is around 11 o'clock, and are supposed to have 9 hours of sleep in order to properly function. So why is it that we start school so early? According to UCLA, we shouldn't be starting school until around 8:30 or 9 o'clock. This is something that could also be changed in elementary schools as well. Again, from the same source, younger students are proven to be more active and able to function more properly earlier in the morning. This is something that has already begun to change in some places. In California, all high schools, including charter-run high schools, cannot legally start until after 8:30 in the morning. Middle schools can start no later earlier than 8 in the morning. In New Zealand and Australia, schools don't start until about 10 in the morning. So if all these places are doing this, and they are seeing positive results like higher alertness, better schooling, and results overall, why are we not doing this here? Why is this not a countrywide thing? Just giving students a couple extra hours of sleep in the morning can vastly improve the mental capacity and ability to learn in school. It would make the environment such a better place overall. There's so much that can be done to help improve the mental stability of students, like ridding the system of grades in their current form, making an environment where students feel safe and welcome, and a place where students don't feel like they are such intense pressure that they cannot retain information and learn. School can be a great place, and it has that potential. We just need to fix some things in order to help.